President-elect Donald Trump's bold economic reforms not universally hailed by Wall Street mavens, including billionaire investor Bill Gross, who told Liz Claman the following on Countdown to the Closing Bell in just the last hour. Take a listen.
I pretend to be neutral here in terms of analyzing policy, but Trump's policies, and let's talk about taxes and lower corporate taxes, supposedly promise a 3 to 4% GDP economy as opposed to a 1.5 to 2% Obama economy. But I question that.
Joining us now to weigh in on these comments and to give us some details of the plans of the Trump team is Steve Moore, a Fox News contributor who joins us now. Are you willing to make a bet with Bill Gross on this, Steve? Because I know you say it's going to be 3 and 4% for 8 years, right?
Well, I said 4% for 5 years, and I think we can do that if we get the program in place. I mean, I think you could add 1 percentage point of GDP.
Well, what's to stop the program from getting in place? You got the Republicans in the House and the Senate and the executive. Yeah. So it's going to pass, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be the Republicans still don't have a filibuster-proof Senate. So, look, there's always obstacles. Congress can always foul things up. But, look, I do think we're going to get the tax cut passed, and I think we get 1% more growth in the GDP from just that alone. And if you look at the other components, you know, the regulatory relief, the energy policies, getting rid of Obamacare, I mean, those are all pro-growth. I'd ask Bill Gross, what about our plan don't you think causes growth? I mean, tax cuts are pro-growth. Energy policy is pro-growth. Regulatory reform is pro-growth. I don't get his analysis.
Well, another thing I don't get, because Trump and you in particular have been specific about this, is that you've designed a lot of it to benefit the smaller businesses. Yep. He says it's just going to benefit the big guys, the big insiders. It almost sounded like he was talking about a Hillary Clinton campaign or a Hillary Clinton transition team. But he says it will only focus the big players, the insiders, to which you say what?
I say I don't think Bill Gross actually knows what our plan is, frankly, David. I really don't. I mean, I'd love to sit down with him and for 10 minutes just say, Bill, here's what we're doing. Our 15% tax rate is for the Korean grocer down the store, or the kid selling lemonade that has a profit is going to pay a 15% tax, not 30 and 35%. I don't think he knows that. And I think also on the individual side, you know, Hillary was running around saying it's a big tax cut for the rich. We do lower the rates, but, David, we take away the deductions. I mean, Reagan did that in '86, so it's not on net a tax cut. They're going to have lower rates, but they're not going to be able to shelter their income.
Well, a lot of corporations may end up spending more money on taxes because of the fact that they lose some of their deductions. Very quickly, though, Steve, on infrastructure. A lot of people say, gee, clearly, Obama's infrastructure plan didn't work to stimulate the economy. That was almost $1 trillion. What's the difference between Trump's infrastructure plan and Obama's?
Well, first of all, if you look at the $800 billion that Obama was going to spend on infrastructure, only a small percentage of the money actually went for infrastructure. A lot of it went for food stamps and social programs. So at least we're going to spend the money on bricks and mortar to get the roads and bridges and highways. And don't forget infrastructure of pipelines. We need an infrastructure of pipelines, LNG terminals, those kinds of things. And a lot of that can be built. You're going to love this, David. We can build that with private sector money, not tax money.
That's true, and there are also bonds and everything. We're going to go how to finance it next time I have you on. Steve Moore,
you got it. Okay.
Great to see you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate it.